I'm going to say, welcome to Storytime Podcast. My name's Rosemary, and today I'm here with Jenna. How are you doing today, Jenna?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic, thank you. So,
It's so good to be here.
yeah, um, I'm gonna ask just a 4-way question. So, when would you say that you felt like you've had been awakened, or were you always aware of your spirituality?
As far as being awakened, probably in 2020, but as I was younger, I was, without knowing it, very sensitive. I would hear spirits, if you would call them that, energy. I could, feel things. Very, very highly sensitive. I almost mimicked this, like the symptoms you would see in someone with ADHD. I, a lot of focusing. Um, I remember one of my teachers pulling my mom aside and saying, "There's times where I look at Jenna and she's just not there. She's daydreaming." When in reality, looking back now, I was astro projecting, and I am now remembering, um, remembering doing that. I actually had a childhood friend tell me, "Yeah, we used to do that all the time." I didn't have the language for it, but I remember, floating on. And I have trouble. I have trouble with my soul staying in my body.
I
I deal
understand.
with a lot of, yeah, yep. At night, I go somewhere. I don't know where I go. I very rarely sleep through the night. As a child, I had night terrors. I'm now learning why. Those are souls that are coming to me, trying to show me their trauma, needing my help. I have found out that I'm a medium. I've actually passed souls over. But when I was little, I didn't understand what was happening. I would have dark energy come to me, dark, low frequency energy. They would yell in my ears. They would slam doors. Very, very scary. And when I would go to tell my parents, it was, "Oh, you were just dreaming," or "No, that's your imagination." So never felt heard, never felt supported. Um, I would make my mom tell my teachers. I had terrible teachers. Um, that Jenna's very sensitive, yelling. I remember going in an open house, maybe in third grade, and my mom saying, "Yeah, she's one of those sensitive." um, because I couldn't handle yelling. If you,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was just my a lot of my gifts are in my throat, um, and in my crown. So I'm extremely, extremely sensitive to vibrations, noise. So, but as far as being, and then I had to, going back, I had to shut all that down because, of course, it was, presented as, you know, you're imagining it, you're dreaming it, you're just dreaming it, you're fine. Um, and, no one really listened to me or tried to, investigate more. And then as I got older, I was able to just shut everything down. I no longer heard things. I still got what I call downloads,
Mm-hmm.
just random downloads that of information. If I was talking to someone, I was like, "Oh, um, your mom is sick. I'm so sorry." And they were like, "How do you know that?" And I was like, "Oh, you told me." um, I've always been able to do that. That's one thing that I have not been able to shut down, or wasn't able to shut down. Um, I feel everything. I feel animals. I feel
Mm-hmm.
people's emotions.
Yep.
With 37 years with not knowing how to shield my energy and other, not knowing how to pay, I guess distinguish what was mine, what was others.
I feel you on that one.
It
100%.
caused, yes, yes, it caused a lot of problems. It caused chronic pain,
Yep.
um, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, eye focus issues, um, weight gain, you name it. Migraines. My migraines started in third grade. I had an ectopic pregnancy in 2018, and there was actually trapped energy in my left fallopian tube from trauma from the third grade, which
Wow.
was my teacher who would abuse us and yell and hit us with rulers. Um, just a lot of wounds inside that would manifest into these physical symptoms, and I had no idea what was wrong with me. I would go to the doctor. Oh, I'm so tired. I just don't feel good. Um, but every test came back normal. I was healthy. Um, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. So of course they were like, let's put you on antidepressant. It's in your head. All in my head, right? So I would go on the antidepressants and just become numb and detached and not feeling like myself. And then I would get off of them and I would talk to a therapist. And the thing about me as an empath is I had I didn't have luck with therapy. I didn't find that one therapist that showed me empathy. Um, I found that talking to a therapist was more like um, a job.
Yeah.
They're sitting there in front of me, and this is their job, and they're just listening. They don't care, you know.
Yeah.
That's and I know that as an empath, I could feel that. So what I did after my ectopic pregnancy is I found someone that was an actual empath himself, and he was very helpful. He talked, we had a few sessions, and it was really vibed, and it was, it felt very natural. And he eventually, came to the conclusion. He's like, I think you're a highly sensitive person. I didn't even know what an empath was until I was 35 years old.
Oh,
I
wow.
remember scrolling through an article on probably Facebook, and reading it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds just like me. I've never been able to watch violent stuff. Everyone's all into the Game of Thrones and all that. I can't watch stuff like that. It sticks with me. Um, can't watch the news. I have to be very careful with social media
Mm-hmm.
because I'm still learning how to not absorb and take on the weight of everything, everyone. Um, so it made a lot of sense. It clicked. He sent me a really good article about what a highly sensitive person is. And again, it just clicked. All the times I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, and none of that. I mean, those were all misdiagnosed. I was,
Mm-hmm.
it all comes back to being highly sensitive.
Yes. And
I'm always
yes,
regulated.
I see that in the spiritual community a lot. A lot of people are getting diagnosed, and there are common threads of people even in our community here in this Discord. People are misdiagnosed with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and a lot of it is just them being spiritual and tapped into things. And some of people, some of us didn't have shields. So I do feel I
Yeah.
totally understand what you're saying because I recently didn't learn shielding until maybe last year, and
Yeah.
I'm just like what you would call like a blind empath and then healer on top of it. So I would just take somebody's pain
Sure.
without realizing it, take whatever heart attack, something, and just take it,
Oh, sure.
and just yeah.
It, I mean, I think you can probably relate. How do we ever live without it?
Mm-hmm.
How did we live this long without learning how to build our energy? Um, yeah, it's very it's still overwhelming with knowing how to shield, and uh, it's definitely been a wild journey. And I remember talking to a therapist that I didn't vibe with, and felt kind of comfortable telling her, yeah, hey, sometimes I hear things. And she eyes got big, posture changed, and she's like, okay, does schizophrenia run in your family? And I'm like,
Oh,
no,
jeez.
hearing crap and seeing spirits, that runs in my family. Schizophrenia, no. I mean, I don't. And
Right.
I felt very judged. And then I just shut down. As soon as I feel judged, I shut down
Hmm.
100%.
Yep.
Um, and, she would say things like, I mentioned, I just wish I was nurtured a little bit more when I was little with this gift. And she's like, no, 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 you can't go back. That's not helpful. Well, that's not helpful for me,
Right.
because all my life, you know, basically being told that my feelings aren't valid because I'm too sensitive. That's very triggering.
Yeah.
And,
Your
I
people are
mean, this,
telling you your experiences aren't valid, what you're seeing, what you're doing, and it
oh,
is.
yeah, yeah. And almost like, and I know my parents didn't mean to. My parents were very loving and kind, but it was almost like I was taught that who I was bad. I was wrong. I remember um, felt someone with me, and I went to this psychic, and it turned out to be my aunt who had passed away a couple of years ago, and she had a message from my mom. And I grew up in a very Southern Baptist conservative household where my dad does see spirits, but he doesn't talk about it because in the Bible, you just don't,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, you don't go there. Um, and I remember him grabbing the phone and saying, "This is of the devil. The devil's trying to get to you." And that terrified me. I'm like, oh my gosh, why is evil coming to me? What's wrong with me? It was always, I would always take it on as something was wrong with me. Not that they were trying to do that. So once again, just shut it down. And then, you know, uh, for some reason, trauma, I think for many people, trauma awakens you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It definitely awakens you. And 2020, my mom had a stroke. And my mom, is my biggest fan. She's she's the heart of the family, and we thought we were going to lose her. And it was very traumatic. And then I started hearing things again. And I heard them probably for a couple of months. And I finally told my husband, I'm like, I'm going crazy. You're going to have to send me. You're going to have to send me somewhere. Something's not right with me. I was hearing things. I was questioning the very foundation that, I grew up on,
Hmm. Yeah.
I remember when I was little going to church and hearing our preacher just talk about the end of days and how God is coming for us, and we aren't deserving of Jesus' love. We better get on our knees and pray for our salvation, and we're not worthy. Hearing that from someone that's a preacher, someone that is a godly man, this is our,
Yeah.
I guess, superior, right? Our adult.
Yeah.
But then feeling Jesus in my heart, it caused a conflict.
Yeah. It doesn't
Who you're
agree.
who the Yeah. So who this man is talking about is not who I feel in my heart. Who I feel in my heart,
Right.
nurturing man, a angelic soul. So there for a long time, I was atheist, and I didn't tell anybody. I didn't believe in anything. That was a dark, dark place. I thought we were
Hmm.
here and we died, and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I can understand it.
So, so everything came stronger. My senses, just like as I was little, they became stronger. I was hearing things. I was seeing things. Um, I could, souls were coming to me. I was getting more downloads. I remember putting like headphones on, listening to music, because anytime I sat still, they would come to me. and the night terrors were back, and I thought I was losing my mind. And you know,
Hmm.
for the I don't even know what made me do this, but I looked up an intuitive healer. It had to be an intuitive healer. That was the message. And I kept hearing, humans aren't living the way they were designed
Hmm.
to live. And it's sucking our souls
Yeah.
dry. I kept hearing that. And I'm like, well, that's random, but I I then was searching for basically it's healing for my soul. I'm like, does that exist? I live in the South, by the way. So this 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 stuff is not this stuff is frowned upon by a lot of people.
Yeah.
What I'm doing, I'm stepping on a lot of toes. I don't care.
No.
Um,
Be you, live you.
oh yeah, 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 and so I was told to find an intuitive healer, not a psychic,
Hmm.
an intuitive healer. So I found who is now my mentor, who has basically saved my life. I made an appointment with her, um, balled up on her little chair, cried my eyes out, and she was like, "It's okay. I see you. You're an empath. I see your gifts. You have a lot of unlearning to do. You have a lot of you know deconditioning. You're awakened.
Yeah.
Let me help you." So I hopped on with her for a 6-month mentor program, and gosh, the stuff that we've done in 6 months has far outweighed anything I've done in taking antidepressants,
Yeah.
talking to therapists, even the empath therapists. I mean, I'm doing major soul healing. So whereas a lot of people in the group are like, um, you know, what's the word? They're set in their job as a healer.
Yes.
I'm still trying to find my way. I'm I know some of my gifts, but I'm still trying to decondition. I'm still trying to get over the judgment that some people that will come with being an intuitive empath.
Yeah.
Um,
But you don't, I
I'm
mean,
also go ahead. Sorry.
no, it's okay because I tell people, I mean, I'm like, nobody does anybody else's paths. No one has the right to judge anybody else. They've never walked in your
We're
shoes. You've never walked in mine. And it's not to say that empathically we are not able to see that, but
true.
it's still me living, it's still me. It's still you living as you. And to have your feelings and feel invalidated, yeah, that is felt. And I do understand what you're talking about, like the being in an area where it's Southern Baptist and having that condition, it's like empty your cup. Like let's fill up, take everything that
Absolutely.
we have in it that doesn't work and pour that out so that you can fill it with the good stuff that is it's limitless. That love.
Absolutely. And I know that you don't probably resonate with human design, but human design has saved my life too. I mean,
Hmm.
because it's given me a kind of blueprint of who I have been sent here to be. Not that I agree with everything or not, especially the founder. I don't even know his name. I don't put a lot of emphasis. He's talking about like 2027, we're all gonna die or something. That's not what I need to focus on. But with human design, I found that I'm a projector, which is only 20% population. I found that I do get tired more easily as a projector and as an empath,
Hmm.
and then add on that I'm intuitive. I have a lot of, I'm tired a lot. I could sleep probably 13 hours, at night and wake up tired. I have to listen to my body when I'm living in a world that expects me to go, 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 go,
Hmm.
have a 9-hour day job, come home, kiss my kid goodnight, get back up and do it all over again. I'm living to work, right? And that's not how I was designed.
No, we're. I mean,
And none of us were designed like that.
no, no. So I mean, and that does bring like, what is your thoughts on the system? On, I would say that conformity, the conveyor belt.
Oh,
I would say.
it's bullshit. I think it's all bullshit.
Yep.
I think that we are living a life where we are putting more value on materialistic stuff
Mm-hmm.
and status and power than our people, than our humans.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart. And as an intuitive and digging into learning how to do the human design, I'm seeing a lot of sensitive souls coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Parents that don't know how to handle their sensitive souls that are coming in. A lot of parents are like, here's a tablet. I don't want to deal with your sensitivity. Like, here's,
Yeah.
go watch the show. Like, get out of my face.
There's that
And
no
this is,
empathetic bonding between two people.
oh
It's,
gosh,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no. And, you know, that's where I'm being led right now is to tell these parents, hey, I think your kid may be an empath. I think your kid may be a highly sensitive person. I'm in a lot of parent groups and I see it all the time. Oh, my kid, especially, you know, little boys. Like, I hate to, define like boy, girl, but especially boys.
Mm-hmm.
My boy doesn't like sports. He just cries all day. He whines. He's over, they don't say he's overstimulated, but, he's just miserable all the time. And he can't focus. And these are all the things that I struggled with as a kid. So, I would love to reach out to these moms and say, your kid may be a highly sensitive person,
Yeah.
but again, and as a projector, my energy can feel very penetrating. It can feel very invasive.
Yes.
So I have to be very careful.
Yes.
So that's also where I'm learning, when do I step in? And that's exactly what my session was today with my mentor, is channeling someone's energy and seeing if it's safe to approach that person. Because it helps no one if I'm approaching people that are like, ugh, no, that's not what, we're a Christian home, and that's not what we do.
Ah,
That makes me feel bad, and then shuts them off. And as I wouldn't want a Christian to come and be like, oh, you need to be in,
yeah, and and I
church
get it.
every week.
Yep, and it's actually, it's funny because the episode I did before this, it was much of the same. It's that connecting the common threads to people, and I feel, I mean, like, I'm sure you expressed it. I feel that a lot of us we're spread out and we're put in areas that are kind of just not awake or aware for a particular reason.
Mm-hmm.
They're equating it, or telling that common thread, that one little piece that could help turn somebody around without seeming so, like, to break their mind, that judgment thing that you think of. Because when you start telling or start helping somebody else, and they're not able to understand at what level that you're speaking from, what perspective, that's when they turn around and they do that judgment. They feel like they're getting judged, and
Sure.
it's like you're not saying that, you're trying to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard
Hmm.
because, some of my gifts are I can see people's wounds inside. I
Yeah.
can see how they're manifesting into physical symptoms. A part of why I'm here is to break, patterns from the past, bring them as blessings for the future. I'm here to suffer for people so I can tell them, hey, I've been where you've been. I have that empathy, and, I can help you, but they have to want the help. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is when do I move forward? And that's a hard place, especially where I am now, where a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know this, but I am a Christian. The people, the angelic souls I work with,
Hmm.
Jesus is one of them.
Hmm.
Mother Mary is one of them. Um, it, but it shouldn't matter, right? And another thing I'm trying to really learn, which is hard, is loving people for where they're at. You know,
Yeah.
we may not agree or we may not, see eye to eye, but I'm going to love you where I'm at. And sometimes you have to love people from afar.
Yeah.
My family doesn't agree with anything I'm doing. They won't come out and say it, but I have to tread very lightly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, but I feel, and it has come out in card reads before. I keep getting the Gabriel card, and
Oh,
one of the sayings underneath it is, "It's time to stand up, not shut up." Which you don't, like as an empath, you're like, "Gee, it's gonna hurt somebody. Do I really want to say this?" But it's at the point where if we don't start speaking up, that what is still being conditioned on top of us, those conditions, is just going to continue.
for sure. And the way I was raised is you retreat when there's conflict.
Yes.
You that's another thing that I'm working on, so many things and just that deconditioning, but I think more of what I'm talking about is if I see something coming if I'm sitting down with a friend and I see, oh, there's a kid get sick, that may not be their perfect thing. It's like,
Yes.
oh, your mom's going to get sick,
Yes. Yes.
but absolutely. And like going back to human design, I have that fighter gate, that gate where I will fight and stand up for what is right and fight for those who
Yep.
don't, who can't fight for themselves. My daughter, she's here to teach me. She's, not an infant. She is here to test laws and systems that no longer work for us. She's here to be a rebel. She's here to, you know, uh, mess stuff up in the name of love and what is right. And that's not me. I'm an empath. Like, oh, show me your soul. Let me love you. And she's here like, let me F some stuff up. And, I'm teaching her how to do that in a way where she's teaching me, no, you stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
She's 5 and she's teaching me so much.
Yes.
And that's the thing. We can learn from everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. We're all connected. All connected.
Yeah.
And I do believe we all have a purpose. We were sent here with this. Just like I wouldn't send a bunch of empaths and highly sensitive people to go investigate a murder scene with dead bodies. We're all here and all intertwined and we all have a purpose. And it's very beautiful to me. That's why I love human design.
So, do you find when you're working again to clear yourself, what kind of practices do you use for that? Do you do meditation or music or disconnect in nature or anything like that?
So I never really realized how much I love water. Water clears me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a Taurus, which is hilarious. I'm an earth sign. But my husband's a Pisces, which is a water sign, and he is just a vessel of love. I mean, most beautiful person ever. And the quickest way to clear me is to get water, sit in water, swim in water, drink water.
Mm-hmm.
A few other things I do, I definitely do the feet and the knees. I connect to source and then down to Mother Earth. I have to do that quite a bit because I'm always up high.
Yes.
It's hard for me to go down.
Yes.
I do meditate when I have time. I do have 2 small kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So that can be challenging. When I meditate, I do get beautiful messages. I love to meditate. Yeah. Today, my mentor taught me how to clear with the sun. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, using the sun to clear all your chakras.
Yep.
Because I had, I was
do.
terrified. And again, I'm still learning all these things, and
That's
I
okay.
had I had an experience a couple of days ago where I had a spirit jump me, and I went to her and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm possessed!" and all this.
No.
And she's like, "No, no, let's see what's going on." And really, it was a soul that needed to be crossed,
Mhm.
and he had been, displaced for so long that he was coming up as a lower frequency energy, and he basically shocked me, and I was sleeping, so it startled me for
Mhm.
one. And he was a man that had been very abused and felt powerless, and he was actually trying to he was connecting to my solar plexus, and it was causing GI issues and all these problems. What is going on with me? And he was just trying to, get my attention and basically feed off my power. A little
Yeah.
power I'd claim. So I'm learning all these things, and that's where she's been very helpful. Is don't approach these things with fear. Approach them with love.
Yeah.
And this man needed my help. Did he go about it the right way? Probably not. But this is where he was, right? And we passed him over today. He's on the other side with his sister. He's great. Um, but he initially showed up as like a scary wolf, and again, it's just like there's always a bigger picture. Uh,
Yes. If you
of course, there's demons and stuff, but
well,
they come through a little different.
what some of that is okay. So once a little bit of me shielding is once you, it's like you placebo your own brain. You're able to reprogram your brain. So one of my things is that fear is a vibrational frequency. So when I started to see it as not something fearful and just know it inside of me that I'm protected, nothing's going to get through. That is when everything just started to bounce off in a way. Um, and then also we talk a lot about the like black hole white hole energy, using a shield like a white hole. So a white hole is like what you would call like a big bang. It kind of just
Mm-hmm.
everything resonates out from it and nothing can get inside of it, so you create like a firewall for yourself. um,
Mm-hmm.
and you only allow in what you want to. So if soul wants to talk to you, they can talk to you, but they're not able to, like you were saying, like grab your energy off of you. Yeah.
Yes,
But
yes.
I
Um,
totally went through that. Like I get it too. I know what you're talking about.
oh yeah, and sorry, I thought you meant clearing. Shielding, I use armor. I use body armor. I clink, 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 clink all the way up, and then
Nice.
put the head on. And I had like you. I found that as I'm doing this work, I have had to use it less. I'm going to use it more now that I've been, I don't know what he did, jumped me, I guess. Um, but and then sometimes I use the bubble where things bounce off. Uh, But
Yeah.
yeah, I will. I'm very excited to get to that point. I don't have to clear my room every week where I sleep. I'll have terrible, terrible night terrors. I mean, just god awful things, and a lot of them, they're not all spirits showing me what has happened to them. Some of them are past life stuff. I have a very old soul, very old soul.
Yeah.
Um, so I would dream about things that trauma that would happen, that has happened to my soul.
Yes.
So I've done a lot of regression work. Are you familiar with regression? Where you go back, soul, past lives? No.
So do you do energy healing yourself for people, or are you more into that, you said like the medium side and crossing souls over?
So, and that's not what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I do think energy work kind of scares me because I do know that when you do the energy work, the portals open, and
Hmm.
not everything beautiful comes out of those portals. We're human. We're wanting the beautiful angelic energy, healing
Hmm.
comes with what you get. I am signed up to do Reiki in September. I'm going to learn Reiki 1 and 2, and I'm just going to kind of fill it out. and see. I've done right now. I'm just experiencing and researching.
Okay.
So I've done emotional and body code healing, which is when she cleared out the energy from my fallopian tube.
Hmm.
Um, that was beautiful. I went to a session that they did darshana, like language
Okay.
healing. I don't know. It's
Like
some type of
light language or something.
yes,
Yeah.
light language. I
Yeah.
did that, which was a very beautiful experience. So all those things resonate with me. I would just need. I'm the type of person that I need to have. I need to research things and be very confident in what I'm doing before I go out and say, "Hey, Rose, let me do Reiki on you."
No, I understand it.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have a friend that is she's a healer, but she's um, definitely a Christian,
Hmm.
and like Reiki doesn't include Jesus or God. It's symbols and stuff. She was the one that was like it opens portals to bad things, and I'm a 3. I'm a profile 3 on Human Design, which that's someone that touches the stove like 5 times before they realize, oh, this is going to continue to burn me. So I
There are
have to be
some
very careful.
lessons. Yes, there are some lessons that take a while. I definitely understand that.
Right,
But
right. So I'm definitely going to go and fill it out and see. I always tell people I'll do anything once, maybe twice.
yeah, there's
Well,
a
I mean, what is
I'm glad that I'm glad that you're here because again, there's a lot of common threads obviously, and you telling your story it does help inspire people to know they're not alone, especially coming into this and they're going through this. Well, am I crazy? No, you're
exactly?
not crazy. You're not.
No,
Um,
no, and just like people view autistic, I mean, I felt led to stand up for autistic kids. I feel like they far surpass our human. I mean, I don't feel like
yeah,
they're humans. I feel like they are here to teach us.
yeah, their brain
We
just
can
works
learn from
differently.
them.
Yeah,
Sure, sure,
there's nothing wrong with it. There's no and that's where I know you said like human. For me, I just don't limit or put a label on anything.
sure.
But
Yeah,
I just tell people whichever makes you happy, whatever that you see. But I don't, we don't, I don't limit that. And we are, we all don't fit the same mold. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
I'm not going to be all. There's not another me out there, another Rose. There's not
Yeah.
another one
Just it goes
exactly
back.
like me.
Sure, it goes back to you saying, everyone has their own path and journey to, walk, and
Yeah,
different things are going to resonate with different people first.
yeah. And it's the way that well, we talk about framework, but the way that it's this reality space is created is it's drops, it's ripples, and I know you said projector. It's like it's a drop of water and it creates a ripple. And a lot of times, what happens in a 3D space for people will ripple out quantumly. Emotions will ripple out because emotions are energy, emotions. Your emotions actually can affect those around you. That energy goes out. It doesn't have to be, it can go through a wall. It's a vibration. It's quantum. Love is something that you don't necessarily see. You can see it in people, you see it in actions, but you don't actually see the energy of it. You feel it.
Hmm.
So
Sure. And yeah,
yeah. So
absolutely. And that's, the way I experience the world and people
hmm
is I see your higher self, whether you're in it or not.
yeah.
I see souls. I don't see, if we're at a party and my husband's like talking about someone who was it the girl that was making everybody laugh. I remember how you make me feel.
Yes.
Um, you know, and if I have to talk about your, like, I'll go into detail. I'm like, oh, she had a vibrant red shirt on, beautiful blue eyes. I'm definitely, I wouldn't say different, but kind of. And I've always felt out of place.
hmm
And that's what I never want anyone to experience because
Yeah.
we're again here for reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah. And as far as quantum, I'm kind of starting to research that. It's not sticking as well. So hopefully I can learn a little more
There's
about quantum
a lot, like I said,
mechanics.
there's a lot of people, a lot of the people in the Discord here in our community part, they do know this is, like I said, this cross training, this area where people can talk to each other, and say, oh yeah, I've experienced this. And a lot of times coming in
Yeah.
here, some people cross over in other dreams. They'll have a dream space and have a conversation in astral and come back and go, did we? Yes, we did talk about that. Yes, we did.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting experience, so I'm going to ask, what is your passion in life that inspires you? What is that drive for you?
Right now, and I think it's going to be ever changing, but the theme has always been to help people. I would just be a nurse,
Hmm.
realized very quickly that I couldn't, my skin wasn't, and then I started to nanny. So definitely helping people and especially holding space for people, a safe space where they can be emotional. And right now, again, working with children,
Mm.
helping their parents nurture the sensitive side of their children, holding space for the wounded masculine is one of them. I'm definitely drawn to and trying to um, bring to light men's mental health
Hmm.
because there's been a lot of men in my area that have just gone missing.
Oh, jeez.
They have left their family and just gone missing.
Wow.
I won't go into detail, but
Yeah.
they were hurting and suffering for years, and no one knew because there's not space for
Right.
them.
Right.
Um, a lot of things. My mentor referred to me today as just a space holder, a safe space where I'm holding, a place for people to let their emotions out,
Hmm.
to let them know, hey, I'm here. I know I'm a healer. I know that I love people. Um, yeah, again, I'm in this space where right now I'm just doing research and filling things out.
Yeah.
Um, so Reiki could be one of those things. Emotional. I mean, right now I'm reading a book about emotional and body coding. Whatever I can do to help, but I do feel like I will be more of an emotional healer,
Yeah.
not so much a therapist or a life coach. Oh my gosh, how many life coaches are there, right?
Well, like emotional empathy healer. I mean, we do have, there are
Yes.
people like that. I have come across, even like I said, within the Discord, there's actually people that do that. They work
Yeah.
and to help equate the survival mode and turn that off into something into creative mode, and then find the thread to why is it connected? Where does it connect to your habit today? So there's people that are,
Sure.
yeah, they heal that as well. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
anything to do with, healing, I'm, for it. But again, I'm just, trying to educate myself and research and find out what I want to be when I grow up.
As you keep growing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And my design is so I'm not here to be set as one identity. I'm here to turn on many identities.
Yeah.
I'm here to understand people on a deep, deep level.
Yes.
And there's not space for that right now.
No.
I will go to approach someone that I know is hurting, and they're like, "Why do you care so much? What does this have to do with you?"
Yeah. I get it. I've
Yeah.
experienced it. Yes. So before I wrap it up, um, Is there anything that you want to tell people who is listening out there who may be in stages of awakening or not sure of where they're going or what they're experiencing?
Sure. Yeah, I think, I'm not always good with words, but I just want people to know that, oh, I feel like I remember taking a religion class and learning about Buddhism, and, when you're awakened, it's a beautiful thing, and it is beautiful,
Hmm.
but it doesn't feel beautiful at first. You feel lost. You feel like you're roaming around trying to find, um, you're trying to figure out, you're questioning your morals and your values that you basically have been told, you know,
Hmm.
your whole life. You're questioning everything.
Yeah.
It can feel extremely, you can feel ungrounded, unsettled, very uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And no, you're not. And, you know,
No, I totally agree.
you
Yes.
know, and, it, again, just holding that space for sensitivity. If you're a sensitive, if you know someone who is a sensitive, nothing's wrong with you, nothing's wrong with them. We're all built different.
Hmm.
Um, keep, doing things that feed your soul,
Hmm.
regardless of, as long as you're not hurting anyone, regardless of what anyone thinks. I, as far as, you know, it's funny with awakening, it comes in cycles.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute, I'm awake, I'm moving very slow. I know I'm like on a high frequency. And then the next week, there could be a full moon and I'm like Discord at 2 o'clock and be like, oh, I can't sleep. You know,
Yes.
it is not a smooth sailing journey at all. And you're not alone,
Yes.
and it's okay. It's okay, especially for people that are very religious. You're not going against your religion by being awakened.
Hmm.
You're just having to rethink things.
Hmm.
Hopefully, all that makes sense and resonates
Yes.
with people. Coming from someone that is came from a very religious family.
Hmm.
That doesn't. Gosh, if I told them half the things that I've experienced, it's just like, oh my gosh, go to church right now. And it's just not. It's not helpful.
Yeah.
So glad, for spaces like Discord that you've created.
Thank
So
you.
important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm
Hmm.
glad that you're here and you're with us. You're again. Um, Thank you for allowing me to connect with you in this space. Um,
Well, absolutely. I will
yeah.
tell you 1,000 times. I'm very happy to be here.
Same. We're
Um,
happy to have you here.
thank you.
Hmm. All right. So I'm going to sign off for this one. And this is Jenna. And if any of you guys out there would like to speak with Jenna, explore experiences, learn, grow together, or connect communities, you can find us within Discord. And I'm sure she has links that she will supply to me as well, which will be in the description box. So thank you very much.